So welcome to part two. So this is part two, and we're going to be looking at the Python crash course. So if you're following up, so this is for us to understand some basics about Python. So we have different data types. So normally in programming, you need to understand your different types of data so that you can be able to do whatever you want to do. You have population of Africa. If you needed to get the average, that means you must be able to be able to work with such numbers. If you have a graph, you might need to get averages, you might need to get sum. So being familiarizing yourself with numbers and different data types is very crucial. So we have some here. So this is just for us to do some basic number types. So if you have this sheet, you just do is control. I will just run that. You get 2. If you say 1 times 3, you're going to get 3. If you say 1 times 5 and you run that, you're going to get 5. If you say 5, let me zoom this out. So if you say 5% 4, which we call 5 modulo 4, if you say 5 modulo 4, what's going to happen is that you're going to get 5 divided by 4, remainder 1. So anytime you say 5% 4, or what we call 5 modulo 4, it's 5 divided by 4. What is the remainder? So if I run this now, I'm going to have 1. If I say 20 divide by 4, what's the remainder? My answer should be 5, remainder 0. So the answer here is going to be what? 0. Right. At times, this is used if you're trying to check for odd numbers or even numbers, or you're trying to do some computation and you want to look at the remainder. Right. If I say 30 divided by 4, what am I going to get? I'm going to get 28. 24 is 8, 26, 24, 32 is my font times table now. So I have 16 is what's it called? 4. 32 is 4. That is 8. So it's not up to 8. So it's going to be 7, I think, remember 2. So let me run this. My answer is going to be 2. Now, so this is 30 modulo 4. So that's what we call it. So it's just the remainder. So we divide the top number, that's the numerator, with the denominator, and we get the remainder value. 1 divided by 2, so you get 0.5 or half. If you say 5 divided by 2, right? So this should be around 2.5. If I run this, I'm going to get 2.5. So while you're practicing, you can try several things and be sure that it works. That's the essence of going through this task and assignment. So when you say 2 star 4, what you're trying to do an operator. Now, all of these guys, you call them operators. Operators. So plus, times, modulo, divide by, raised to power. So you call this, this is also modulo. If I divide this, I'm going to get 2. If I say 5 divided by 2, I'm going to get 1, right? So when you say 2 star 4, what you're trying to say is multiply 2 4 times. So it's like saying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So you're going to have 16, right? If I say 5, we can get the answer. So you're going to get something like 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times something of that nature. So you're going to get 3,000. I know some people were thinking it's going to be 25. Who was thinking 25? So it's actually 5 times 5. It's like saying 5 raised to power 5. I don't have my writing pad here. Maybe next training, I'm going to come with that. So this is 5 raised to power 5. Now, 10 divided by 4. So like I said, what's the remainder of 10 divided by 4? My answer is going to be 2. Don't forget, this is a comment. So we don't need it, right? We can take this guy off and run it. It's still going to give us 2. So we can add this. One thing you want to do, you want to make sure that you are commenting most of your files. Because if you're coding, if you're programming, if you're learning Python, as we're going to do as we move on, you need to comment most of your lines so that when you come back to it, you can easily follow along. So 4 modulo 4 is going to be 0. So this is going to be 0. So this is like saying 4 divided by 4. So if I say 4 divided by 4, my answer is 1, and the remainder is going to be 0. So if I run this, I'm going to have 0. 5, 2. So this is not 5, 5. So this is 5, 2. This is like saying 5 in 2 places. So 5 times 5. So I'm going to have 25. But if I say 5 in 3 places, so I think I should be having 125. So 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Now, this is where Python is so awesome because we can use Python to do any mathematical stuff. So this is back in school, primary, secondary, or for those of us that have it as high school, we say BODMAS. So BODMAS is bracket of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So if you give Python this kind of thing to work on, it's going to do that absolutely well. So 2 plus 3, then times 5 plus 5. So it's going to treat the bracket first. So it's going to say 2 plus 3, this is 5. 5 times 5 plus 5 is 10, right? So this is just going to be 5 times 10. So that's how it's going to be 50, right? So if I say 6 is going to be 5 times 11, right? 55. If this is 10, so this is going to be 12 times 5, right? 60, right? Now, who can guess what the answer is going to be? So if you say 12 times 0, you should have 0, right? So this is BODMAS in action. Same thing if you run this. So Python can handle all of these behind the scenes without your guide. 4 raised to power 4, 256. 2 raised to power 2 should be 4. Right? Same thing applies to all of this. Now let's look at the next one. The next one we're going to do, it has to do with variable assignment. Now, when you code in Python, because you don't want to repeat yourself, it's called dry programming. So this helps us, let me write some comments. So this helps us to do dry programming. So what do I mean by that? Do not repeat yourself. So I don't want to repeat myself. So what do? I can assign variables. So the idea of saying, let's say you have a script you're running in Python for analytics or machine learning, you need to run through quite a lot of things. You don't need to repeat yourself in the lines of code. What are you supposed to do? You can declare variables. You can do variable assignments. Take, for instance, you want to do A is 5, or let's say your name is Victor. You are 100 years old. You are living in Abuja, for instance, and you have a laptop, and you want to make a sentence. And you're going to be making those sentences from time to time. So there's no point repeating all of that. You can just say, okay, name is Victor, he's 100 years old, he has a laptop, he stays. You can declare those variables, then subsequently, you can now start performing the operations, or you can now start using those variables you've already declared to work. Take, for instance, I'm saying my age is 100, my account balance is 5,000, my age times my account balance is going to be what? 50,000. Very easy. At any point in time, I go back and say, okay, my age is now 50. If I run this, I've already declared it. If I come back here and run this, it's going to change. So I don't need to go back again and start, changing this. Imagine if I need to do this computation for several other things. I just need to change the very first variable and I can now, every other thing that I've coded is going to remain the same. So that's why you do variable declarations. Okay, let's say somebody's salary is $50,000 and he has a bonus pay that needs to be calculated, right? Let's say you have a table and that table is a data set containing people's name, their grade, their salary. Now we want to compute we want to compute bonus pay or 13th month allowance for everybody. All we need to do is to say, okay, what's your salary for each month? Times it by 12, and we just need only 10%. So we want 10% of everything you've earned in a year. And we want to pay you as your 13th month. So the first thing I need to do is to declare the variable salary. So that's every other computation. What about if I need to compute your house allowance and it's based on your salary? And your house allowance is 300% of your salary. And let's say I need to calculate your wardrobe allowance and it's 50% of your salary. So you see that I have to first declare salary. I can now say, okay, bonus pay is going to be salary times this. So once I say bonus pay, is going to actually take care of that. If I insert a new column, let us try a shortcut B so that I don't need to, let me see. Shortcut, add new row on Jupyter Notebook. Because my file is not, my script is not very, very long. So it's going to be, which is considered, so to add a new cell below the currently selected cell, just press B. If you want to do it above, press A. So let's try that. So tap here and just say capital B. It didn't do that. Let me try Control B. Let me type alternate B. It didn't work. Let me say function B. It didn't work. So I saw a shortcut here, which is this, which is I think there's also a way for us to like have some of these shortcuts done specific to this our environment. So I think maybe in another series I'm going to attend to that. But every time I need to insert a new line, I might just need to go. Let me see something. Okay, I think there's one here, which is okay. This is a duplicate. This is to send it up, to send this line up, send the line down, add a new cell above, add a new cell below. Okay, I think we don't need to go up. We can do it right from this angle. But just because I am zooming. Okay, so bonus pay. So let's assume I want to calculate, let's say wardrobe allowance, right? It's going to be, let's say salary times, let's say 5, everything times, let's say 5. If I run this, and add a new cell, let me just add a lot of cells, right? If I come and say allowance and run this, it's going to tell me 125. What's this? This is like 1.2 million, right? So let's say I want to calculate your shoe allowance. Your shoe allowance. The shoe allowance is 50% off. Let's say your 50% times your bonus pay. Okay, invalid syntax. Now you see that it doesn't understand this. And normally, anytime you have an error code, it's going to tell you why. So it has an issue with this particular variable and this percent I have here. One thing I can do is I can put this all in a bracket. right? I can put this in a bracket. I try running it. If it doesn't go through, I can convert this to 50 divided by 100, right? And if I say shoe A and run this, I'm going to get 300. Now, I have another one here. My name is Victor. Now, this is a string. You see, I've been dealing with numbers. This is a string. So anytime you want to have a string, you must make sure that it's a single quote, right? So my name is Victor, single quotes, right? Anytime I declare my name, it's going to give me Victor. Now, take for instance, I say agenda equals to male. I cannot just declare gender male like this. If I run it, I'm going to have an error message. Why? Male is not defined. The issue here is that male is a string. So if I say this and run it and come anywhere, let me add a new line, and I now say, what is my name? Right? Run it, it's going to say Victor. So understand that strings are always within single quotes. You can use double quotes if you're going to do concatenation. We're going to look at that. Concatenation is when you're trying to combine multiple strings or text together. Now, you see that I declared another variable called age. Age is 50. Now, if I print age, it's going to tell me 50. So print is a function. So Python have quite a lot of functions. You have max, print, printf, quite a lot of functions. So if I say top 20 Python for data analytics functions, you're going to see a list of them. So you're going to be using quite a lot of them to either do read files, to export file, to do computation, to do transformation, to do a lot of things, right? So you see some of them. This is Panda. So when we get to Pandas, you understand how to read a file, how to also save a file, or how to see the top sections of a file, or how to check the details or the type or the summary of the content of the file that you have. So you use the function dataframe.info. Dataframe should be the name of the file. So you say dataframe.info. You're just trying to gather information. So we want to use most of these items. Now you want to drop a null or a missing data. Use the drop any function. Group by, merge, pivot table, array, mean, median, mode, max, minimum. All of these are Python functions. See that some functions you use them when you're usually doing pandas and numpy. Some functions you use them when you're doing matplotlib, that is mathematical plotting library, or when you're doing Seaborn. So Seaborn and matplotlib for Python is used for visualization. So if you're a machine learning engineer and you need to do anything that has to do visuals, matplotlib and Seaborn is what you're going to be using. So this is what it looks like. Matplotlib. It's used for visualization. So anytime you need to visualize anything, Matplotlib is the go-to library to do that. Same thing with Seaborn. Like when we're going to start doing charts, bar chart, histograms, scatter diagrams, that's what we're going to be using. So we're going to use Matplotlib that is mathematical plotting library, to address all of that. Then you see, anytime you need to do some statistical analysis, anytime you need to do machine learning, are you seeing all of the functions you need to use? So we're going to be picking them little by little as we move on. Now, we're just using one, print. So print, what does it do? It will print the argument you've given to it. We've already said the age is 50. Now we want to print age, right? We can decide to also print age times 5, right? We're going to get 250 because we can as well perform computations with that. Okay, so I have another one, who. It's Daniel, so this is a string. Then I can now say print who, right? It's going to print Daniel. Then another thing is strings. So you have strings, single quotes, you can use single quotes, you can use double quotes. Then print, you can also print, and when you are printing, you have a string here, if X was, let's say, 5, you don't need to wrap it with quotation marks. You just declare it. And when you call X, it's going to give you 5. But once it's something like hello, you must wrap it in a text, in a quotation mark. That's what makes it a string, right? Textual stuff. Now you can say print hello. It's going to rip that stuff off and give you this. You can also say, you can also echo. Let's try echo X, right? Or rather echo X. Let's use it as a function. Okay, I've already. Okay, let me say this. Okay, so this particular variable, if I put a, what do you call this now? This is now hash, like a dollar sign, right? If you put a dollar sign in front of it, it's going to echo out. It's going to echo out that variable. So imagine if this variable changes now to my name is Victor and I'm training on data analytics, machine learning, and AI. If I run this and come again and try to echo that out, it's going to pull out everything, right? If I run this also, it's going to pull out my name is Victor and I'm training on data analytics. So I run this and now run my corrections, right? It's going to make all of these corrections. Now let's look at something. In case you are printing and you have two variables, num, I declared a variable called num, number, and I also declared a string called Sam. What about if you want to make a whole sentence with the entire stuff? So this is where concatenation and formatting comes in. So this is where you want to pass. The word pass is P-A-R-S-E. You want to pass these variables into this function. So you're going to say, my name is 1, comma, and my name is column this. So you're going to format using these two guys. So the first item you are passing, this is 1, is what? Num. 2 is what? So you can try this out, change these parameters and play around with it and see what you get. So number is what? 50. And name is what? Victor. If I run this and now run this particular print function, I'm going to say my name is, or rather, let me say my age is this, and my age is 50, and my name is Victor, right? You can change all of this stuff. You must have all of these, so it's to discretion, right? So my age is 50, and my name is what? My name is Victor. So this is where you want to pass a variable into another function. Now that's about print, echo. We've looked at strings, integers. So these are integers and operations. So numbers, we've looked at numbers. We've looked at strings. You should be able to call your string. You should understand the difference between a string and a number is for a string, single quotations or double. Then numbers, you can just declare those variables like that. We looked at printing also. Now let's look at the next data type, which is list.